Welcome back to another stage of history. What's the word, y'all? I actually got a show at the Delancey in the city, something small and quick. You know what I mean? Not even gonna pause that. That pause shit need to die out. But yeah, something real quick at the Delancey, 5:30. If anyone wants to pull up, it's in the area. Yes, in 3 hours. I don't even know what I'm wearing yet. I still gotta wash my ass. I probably could have shaved, trimmed up a little bit, but we moving and shaking this week, man. It's been a crazy week for hip hop. It's, I ain't gonna lie, this winter did a number. It's been quite depressing this winter. I really was just like, what am I even in New York for? I'm paying all this money, and had them moments. It's like, what am I doing out here? What's my purpose? You know what I mean? But New York is one thing, like in the wintertime, in New York in the summer or spring, just decent weather. It's been back-to-back shows. I mean, even the homie Know It All, who I got mad love for, crazy talented MC. He had a tour stop in Brooklyn yesterday, and I was trying to make it to both, but Pro Dillinger and Know It All got their own independent tour right now. And that's just dope to see, man. Whether it's freaking 10 or 10,000, 100, whoever people show up, is just seeing independent artists do their thing that are actually talented. It's inspiring for me as an indie artist. And yeah, it's just dope to see. Now, I wanted to go live real quick and talk about the love of my life, hip hop, and you know what I mean, what makes me go, what keeps me going. I feel like this life is a motherfucker. Life is hard, you know what I mean, but you gotta have things in your life that you really love to motivate you to want to experience and endure this hell. You know what I mean? Life is hell. So for you to want to experience and endure this and see the beauty in it, you gotta have something that that pumps that blood in you. You know what I mean? That just brings joy to your life. And hip hop is it for me, man. You know what I mean? And this week with all these events, definitely just felt good, even to be outside alone, essentially. But yet still so much love and so many people and entities and daps and just different people chopping it up. It's alive and thriving. And when it gets warm, that's when I'm like, yo, spring season is crazy. Like, I literally, shout out to Wavy to God, my Walker bro. He had me perform on his beat sets twice. So at the Rome Streets and Friends joint, I did a quick little set, opening act. And then at the Pro Dillinger joint, you know what I mean? Quick set, opening act. Yes, I do feel like I should be a main act on them flyers. Yes, I do think that I'm still slept on in some ways, because I do think I'm literally one of the best performers in the city, not just musically, but as far as performance-wise. Like, a lot of niggas can't hold a candle to me, you know what I mean? And I'm just being real, just being real. I'm an amazing performer, and whether or not you even fuck with my music, anytime I touch that stage, there's random people telling me they're a new fan, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, but still thankful to be on them stages. Shout out to Rome Streets going on tour, touring the world, and coming back and putting on other artists, you know what I mean? That says something huge about our generation. I feel like New York has an issue of competition, which makes New York and New Jersey, but just the East Coast, maybe like it's a heavy competitive kind of thing, but almost too competitive where we're not even going to acknowledge your peers. You know what I mean? If you're not from our block, my hood, whatever, like, we're not even going to acknowledge that you dope. But this generation is different, because at all these shows, I seen people from Staten Island, Long Island, Queens, the Bronx, Harlem, the city, Brooklyn, Jersey, Connecticut, all coming together upstate, Newburgh. I don't even know if that's considered upstate. Dillinger corrected me yesterday. I called it Haverstraw. It's Haverstraw. You know what I mean? He said he corrected me with that raspy ass voice. I'm like, all right, my bad, man. My bad, legend. Haverstraw, like amazing MCs up there, up in that area. Shout out to the whole Umbrella. I mean, if you don't know about Umbrella, you don't love hip hop. This is what this vlog / live is about. If you don't know about certain things, I just don't think you love hip hop. Like, and it should be okay. You know what I mean? Let me zoom this in a bit. Yeah, let's focus on this. I want y'all to see all my shit. There's just certain things going on that I feel like if you're not paying attention, you don't really love it. When you love something, there's no excuse. You're going to find it. You know what I mean? If you love basketball, you're going to sign up for the subscription. You know what I mean? I don't even know. I don't love basketball that much. Like, I want to watch more games. Like, it looks interesting. I saw there was a crazy game the other night, and I'm like, damn, I'm missing it. I like basketball. I don't love it that much to subscribe to NBA.com, you know what I mean, or whatever. I love hip-hop. I'm paying multiple subscriptions. I'm probably paying $100 a month in musical subscriptions just for hip-hop, you know what I mean? So it's like, that is my love. And yeah, I feel if you love anime, you're going to dig the depths of the internet to find the anime that's out today. You know what I mean? You're going to find it. It's not going to come on regular television. You know what I mean? And you know, same thing with NBA and sports, boxing, whatever. It's not going to be fed to you like it was for my generation growing up. When I was a kid, everything was fed to me. It was a TV guide. There was music video box. There was MTV Jams, BET Jams, all these different stations that fed you hip hop and even underground hip hop and, you know, upcoming stuff. To some degree, you know, things were fed to you. You're not going to get fed these things now. And shout out to this dude on Threads that inspired me to go live and talk my stuff. We just having dialogue, man. You know, I'm not one of these trolls on the internet that's going to be like, oh, you dumb as hell, and start talking all this wild shit that I would never say to a man in person. Like, nah, we just having it, and it is what it is. Some people are out the loop. You out the loop is fine. You know, I think you don't love hip hop though if you don't know certain artists that I listed off. I didn't even, you know, and homie was from the Bronx. She's like, there's nothing up here. I'm like, yo, there's so many dope, amazing artists that are on the level of any major artist out right now or better when it comes to talent and ability, lyrical ability, song making ability. There's so many dope artists now that if you're not aware of, I don't think you love hip hop. What did I say? Older generation. We're gonna get to that. So he said these guys might be dope, but again, they aren't making any real noise and don't have a real movement. All right. So it made me think, real noise, real movement. Like, what is that? What is a real movement, and who has a real movement right now? Even some of the artists you see are being forced to us on television and in the mainstream can barely move 10,000 units, 30,000 units, barely go a quarter of gold, you know what I mean, as far as album sales or streams are concerned. Who has a movement right now? There's nothing really, like, because I think it's just so spread out, you know what I mean? There are a lot more options when it comes to the type of hip hop you want to listen to. There's a lot of subgenres that are invisible subgenres, whether people want to admit it or not. There are different genres in hip hop that should be broken down some more, because it's really a lot of people now and a lot of options. Whereas before, I feel like it was just one category and everybody is trying to fit in this category. But what does a movement look like? When I think of a movement, I don't know why automatically earlier I was like, all right, I get that. You know, artists that I listed off aren't like super valid outside of the city, maybe. And even in the city, obviously there are people that aren't aware. But again, to me, if you aren't aware of these people, to me, you don't love hip hop. But all right, so when I thought of a movement, I automatically, for some reason, thought of Papoose in like the early 2000s. I heard, and I feel like this was when I started kind of taking my shit serious. Like, oh man, how do I get put on? Like, I'm dope. And I wasn't that dope. I was still kind of whack back then, but whatever. How do I get on? Like, you know what I mean? And I thought of Papoose, and I heard like Papoose broke in by just being deep as hell everywhere in the streets. And I heard like he will pull up to certain venues with DJs or playing, spinning or whatever, show up 200 deep, and everybody's wearing the same Papoose t-shirt. And like that's a movement. You know what I mean? When I think of movements and people creating noise, what does that look like today? Well, I just don't know. Everything's on the internet, going viral, I guess, but no one's really going viral for being dope. People are going viral for foolishness. You know what I mean? People more than likely, to me, go viral more for being whack than they do actually being talented. Talent doesn't go viral like that. So what creates movements these days? I think Umbrella has a movement, a collective of amazing artists all working under the same umbrella and getting vinyl deals, getting deals left and right, making a living from their art. Whether you know about them or not, they're making a living, feeding their family from it, touring, and creating noise. Do they have the multi-million-dollar record deal yet? Label deal? No. So they're not as big as like a Griselda yet, but to me that's a movement. You know what I mean? Walker's is moving. Would I say we have a movement per se? Now we're like a collective. We're doing our thing. Everybody got their own shit bubbling. You got Heist Life, 183rd and Nimlo started their label, Money Inc. They're getting their shit moving. But it's tough, like since like I guess TDE, there is an Odd Future and stuff like that. It's not gonna be in your face. Again, I think if you love hip hop, you're going to dig a little bit, you know what I mean, and tap in and come to the shows. Yo, bro, they're like I said, man, Rome Streetz just toured the world off of his Griselda deal, making great moves, getting paid to do what he loves. Like, I've been on a Rome Streetz show 4 or 5 years ago, his birthday show at the Delancey where I'm about to perform at, where there was only 20 people, you know what I mean? And he was still performing 96 Naughty. Like there was hundreds of people like there was at Baby's All Right the other night. So it's like, I see artists, like that's super inspiring, by the way, on the come up, you know what I mean? But to get to that level and come back and show love, like that's why our generation is different. So this goes into my other point, my issues that I see with the city. I'm looking at my threads, by the way. One thing I do see about New York hip hop, the older generation, man, y'all get on my nerves. Much respect to y'all, and definitely big ups to Rock the Bells. I wouldn't have made a lot of dent that I have in my career, as well as they played my music the most. So out of all radio DJs, whatever, Rock the Bells, salute to y'all, Mr. Smith, you know what I mean? They played my stuff the most. But as far as otherwise, older generation, what is it, Gen X, before millennials, y'all got a problem, man. Y'all don't like passing the torch. It's like an ego thing, and I think that is the same ego that destroyed New York hip hop and created its island. 50 beefing with everybody. People only messing with their circle. We're the strongest. We're the biggest. F everybody else. You know what I mean? It was movements from Terror Squad to Rockefeller to, you know what I mean, Dipset movement. What else? The G Unit era. And really after that, you can't be like F everybody if you really love hip hop to me. The ego of New York is the reason New York lost its like complete grip on the genre. Not willing to do what Rome Streetz just did this week, not willing to do that. Come back and show your city love by putting on a show for the dudes that are dope, not your homies from your hood. Not your homies from your hood. Everybody in the city that's dope because you want to preserve this hip hop. You want to preserve New York hip hop. You know what I mean? And I don't be seeing them at functions. Not for nothing. And I don't want to sit here and run down the names, but and I get it. Some shows, you might be too famous for. You don't want to deal with annoying people, whatever. And I see legends out, but I see them hanging around their peers, which are like the 50-year-olds and up, maybe late 40s, but the 50-year-olds that are still around and kicking. A lot of them still rapping and doing our thing, which they should. But y'all still on some too cool shit. Y'all still on your 90s moving like, oh, I don't know this nigga, fuck him, whatever, he ain't nice, nobody from my hood, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's the old school way of thinking. And I definitely hated that growing up. I think that, that's especially why I got out of Jersey, because imagine being in a small town and having that mentality. Had to get up out of there. So it's disheartening, man. This shit is whack. It's just like all these different movements coming on. We got Rome Streetz. We got Bad Influence, The Walkers, Sauce Heist Life, 183rd. Nimlo. You got Stargella. You got Cello. You got Trap Hefe. Def Soldier. Sa Money. Ace SL. There's so much dope music. So many options and different styles to pick from. You got Passport Rev. So much different things. And every single borough. Know It All out of Queens. Spit Gems. FU. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. Good food music. Crazy producers. Spanish Rand. Vidon. It's just... there's so much goodness that is on the same level as the stuff as our golden era. Same level. I go to bat for that. If we disregard the hype around the golden era and the respect that we got to give our OGs salute, and what it took for them, and even just down to the gear that they were recording on reels, doing songs 100 times before it gets done correctly, and all, you can't compare that for sure. We are recording into computers in the ease of our home a lot of times, putting out an album every month for some people. You can't compare that. But if we just talking straight up music, talent, bro, there's so much musical talent out here. It's ridiculous. Producers, artists, visual artists, painters. There's painters that travel far and wide to come to these shows and pull up. I would even show y'all the painting on my wall that was done for me. There's painters, DJs, photographers, videographers that all show out for these events and have been showing out for years. So all that too cool, scared to show love stuff, that is what killed New York hip hop at one point, in my opinion. And that is what, it tried, that energy definitely depleted, but we still here and we alive, man. There's a lot of, Lord Skull again is I said it on my threads, he's not old enough to buy a drink in a club yet, but he's making solid, great music that's not drill, trap, or anything outside of a New York sound. And we have a Lord Skull who's not 21 yet and making great music, connecting with OGs, getting murals done, touring right now. That's a whole nother generation that's making the sound. And it's, that's the whack part of the city of the East Coast. The not wanting to show love to somebody that's to the unfamiliar, you know? And that does hold us back. But outside of that, and, continuing on the OGs, I really want to say I respect y'all musically again. No one could do what y'all did, especially during those times. It was way more aggressive and militant back then, and I get that. You damn near had to fight to rap or whatever. But come on, man. Show love. Get over that old school ego. You know what I mean? No one's keeping it real like you, or they ain't rap like I did, or was a part of some cipher like you was. Like, get off of that, bro. Like, if you love hip hop, come out to these shows, show your face, get over yourself, man. There's a lot of greatness out here, and you as an OG not showing love is hurting the genre. Because now you have people online saying, there's no movement. There's no hip hop. New York is dead. There's nothing going on. There's nothing but drill and trap or whatever. And the reason is, one part of the reason is because of the OGs not coming out on their big platforms, retweeting, reposting. Don't just retweet and repost your family and friends, bro. Like, there's mad goodness out here. And stop caring so much if your hood isn't gonna like that you showing love. Like, all that shit is whack. That's some black nigga shit. Crab mentality shit. You cannot say that there's no talent out here. You can't say it's a talent thing, man. I'm like, there's an endless amount of talent and good music out here right now. There's so much, again, that I can't even make it to all the events and still live a regular life, you know what I mean? Regular citizen life. So OGs, show more love. And for people that claim they love hip hop, just do your Googles, nigga. Do your Googles. You find one artist and then you keep going down the suggested artist thing. You know what I mean? Like, the algorithm will keep putting dope shit in front of you if you let it. And you just got to be willing to receive something new, something different, something that doesn't have 1 million streams a month, something that white corporations haven't propped up on the pedestal yet. Stop waiting for white corporations and white America to tell you that this is hot and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? We have the options now in this generation. We don't got to listen to nobody. And it's showing. Major labels, that's another thing. You know, maybe you don't have movements like 200 people rocking a Papoose t-shirt and coercing the DJ to play that song. You know what I mean? We probably don't have that also because CDs aren't selling like they used to, which is a multi-million-dollar thing. Record labels aren't giving deals like they used to because on the major side, it's dying. You know, you can't just pump money in some whack shit and force people to like it now, you know, because people have options. It has to be genuinely good, and labels are out of touch as far as what's genuinely good and what they can put their risk on, what they can put their bank on, you know. So people aren't rallying behind artists like they used to because of that. They don't really see that benefit of getting a multi-million-dollar deal and feeding your entire staff from a deal the way you used to. So I think that also affects it, why there aren't crazy big movements with corporate backing. So it is what it is, man. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and people still are getting decent deals. You know, shout out to Connie Diamond, who I've been seeing on the come up since before I moved to New York. I'm talking over 10 years ago. I seen Connie putting in work, and she was real young back then, you know, going to showcases and us, you know, doing standard type shit, you know, old New York to, you know, at least, you know, mid 2000s New York, you know, like I've been seeing Connie putting in work for a minute, and now she's fucking on. Now she got a record deal. She's looking big and beautiful, you know what I mean? Getting co-signed from all these legends, and just a Bronx girl who could rap her ass off, you know? People are still getting deals and things are happening, but yeah, it's not going to be like what it used to be. It's not going to be force fed to you. Do your Googles, look at the suggested artist tab, go down the lane, man, do some research, because hip hop is alive and well. It is doing great. There's a lot of quality albums. I saw my homie Lighthouse is doing album reviews. I want to check his YouTube out, but I definitely need to start talking more about, like, I need to start doing my list of favorite artists and going down the lane of putting y'all onto what I listen to. Because I realize, as much as I be thinking that, like, clearly people are doing their thing, there's still a lot of people out here and potential fans that just don't know shit about shit and what's going on. But do your Googles. Follow me. I got playlists, hundreds of songs that are all underground and dope. You know what I mean? Follow me on Spotify and all platforms, and I'll keep you in the loop. And I won't just talk about myself because, I love Passport Rav. Like, I put in mad work for this shit. You know what I mean? But I love the genre, and that's why I've been outside supporting even if I'm not performing. Y'all. Shit is great. This has been a great week for hip hop. Shout out to Pro Dillinger, man. Like, I've been a fan of Pro since before he even got to this level, and just to see somebody that's really that good at the art and putting in work, getting people to support him. Shout out to Urban Gems for putting this tour together. I'm just happy to see it. I do feel like I should have been on one of them dates. I do feel like I should be on one of them flyers, but I'm happy to see my brother getting the just due and the work that he put in, getting the love that he deserves, because I love hip hop. I love niggas that really rap good and talk about things, and even if you not, just be damn good at that gritty shit. Be good. Be so goddamn good it don't matter. You know what I mean? I love to see it. So shout out to Pro. Shout out to Rome. These are all inspirational artists that make me want to keep going. Even if I'm about to go perform at the Delancey right now and there's only 20 people there, I'm happy to just see 20 people. You know what I mean? I'm inspired. I'm inspired to keep going even at my age, even for somebody that's been doing this shit 20 years plus. I'm inspired to go right now, man. Hip hop has never been in this position before. Never, ever could you do something like this independent, with your own business, go out, sell merch, go out, do your thing independent, set up your own independent tour. Never could you do it to this level. So I'm happy to see everybody eating and winning, doing their thing independently. Keep going. To the potential fans out here, the people that don't know what's going on, again, do your research. Stop talking about bullshit. Please. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Just like they say with boxing, you don't know shit about boxing. Boxing and hip hop is very much aligned. A lot of y'all don't know shit about hip hop. So, and it's okay. Get in tune, tap in. Peace, man. Passport Rav. What it sound like. Follow me on everything. Get that Escape Artist dropping on streaming on Monday. New videos, new everything, man. Much love. Much love to life. Peace.